Section 1. In this section, you are going to hear a conversation. Before you listen, please look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen to the conversation and answer questions 1 to 10. Good morning. What shall I do for you?
Good morning. Are you the agency for house renting?
That's right. Are you interested in...
Yes.
So, let me take a record and get some details right now.
Thank you.
What name is it, sir?
Frank Anderson.
Frankanderson, right?
Yes.
And your phone number, Mr. Anderson?
674-9328. But I'm only there after about 5 p.m.
So, when would be the best time to catch you?
I suppose between 6 and 8 p.m.
OK. Can I ask your requirements? For example, which area do you think you would prefer?
Yes, better in the centre of the city. I think that must be more convenient.
And how long do you plan to rent? You know, according to the rules of our agency, the rent time should go up to half a year at least.
That won't be a problem. My family is going to stay for at least 2 years. And we may even get an extension if feeling good.
Fine. We'll surely try to find the most suitable house for you. What is your expected price?
I was thinking in terms of about £500 a month, but I'd go up with 100 more if it is something special.
Got it. These houses in particular fit your requirements perfectly, and here is their information.
Good. I can't quite understand the notices here. Would you please explain to me?
Certainly. The first house is in Cranston Street with 4 bedrooms, 2 balconies, a kitchen, a bathroom and a garage. What's more, it has a large garden behind the house, somewhere you could sit and is peaceful.
It's quite attractive to own a personal garage, but I probably waste the large garden. I'm always too busy to clear up. I need to think it over.
No problem. Let's move on to the next one. We still have more choices. This one lies on Beasley Road with 3 bedrooms, 2 balconies, a kitchen and a bathroom. Oh no, I'm sorry, there is no bathroom.
Well, how is the environment? I need relatively quiet living conditions. Is it close to the main road?
I'm afraid yes. It may be a bit noisy.
Then what about this one on the same road with the above?
This one may be more favourable for you. It belongs to a quiet community and includes a whole set of house facilities. 3 bedrooms, 1 balcony, a kitchen, a bathroom and, the special is, a study.
Sounds terrific. I am interested in it. How much is it?
Let me have a look. See, £620 each month. But since you would stay for 2 years, we can have a discount and may reduce it to £605. Is it a good price for you?
Well, I need to talk with my family. £605 still exceeds my budget. Would you please find a cheaper one if that's possible?
What about this? It lies in the Silverton Road with 3 bedrooms, 2 balconies, a kitchen and a bathroom. The community is off the road but still very convenient. Beside the basic construction, it has a sports centre with a swimming pool, a little museum and a centre hall. But you can only enter the hall with a registration of membership. There used to be a small cinema too, while for certain factors it was shut down last month.
Oh, good. I like sports very much and I think this is exactly what I'm looking for. Then how much will it cost to rent?
Let me check it. £565 each month. As you will rent for 2 years, then we will offer you a 90% discount. That's £508 per month.
It's a moderate price. OK, I'd like to take it. But when shall I have a look at the house?
We will contact the landlady soon. And when would you want it for?
I'd like to move in approximately 2 weeks.
I've got it. Please wait for our reply within 2 days. I will call you in your available time.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2.
Section 2. In this section, you are going to hear a lecture. Before you listen, please look at questions 11 to 20. Now listen to the lecture and answer questions 11 to 20.
Welcome to National Library Services. We have many resources that are in 3 main places: the Self-Access Language Centre, the Library, and the Micro-Computer Lab. I'll start with the Self-Access Language Centre. It is across the aisle directly opposite the section of the Micro-Computer Lab, next to the Library. Go through the door at the far end of the library to reach the lab. In the Self-Access Language Centre, we can get both audio and video materials and extensive playback equipments. There are 7 audio and 10 video playback facilities. We also have a mini video lab where we can record our own responses to exercises on the tapes. There are 3 computer terminals for call materials fitted with headphones so as not to disturb other users. This applies also to the 3 television receivers, which are tuned in to receive satellite broadcasts in French, German, Italian, Spanish, and English. There are 6 headphone sockets and headsets with each satellite television receiver, but they are very popular at news times. Times of news broadcasts from each of the 5 countries are given on the desk between the televisions. There is always someone in the centre for advice on both technical matters and on choosing the most suitable materials for your study. You may, of course, bring your own materials to the Language Learning Centre, but no materials may be taken away. They must all be used and retained in the centre. Finally, the centre is open at 10 a.m. and closed at 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. The library has 2 main parts, one for books and the other for periodicals and journals. The books are in 2 categories: general loan and reference, that means only reading in the library. Up to 3 general loan books may be taken out for up to 2 weeks by full-time students. Loans may be continued if someone has requested the book on the internet. Please pay attention to this rule that some of the most popular books are only available on 24-hour loan. The other category, which includes extensive range of dictionaries, is available for reference only. They may not be taken out of the library for any reason. All titles can be located using our Biblitas cataloging system. There are 13 computer terminals linked to Biblitas and publications under author and title, and both are listed by microfiche catalogs that are very easy to use. The Biblitas system has the advantage of having a separate subject index. Now, for a description of Self-Access Learning Centre, I advise you to listen to the pre-recorded cassette on the machines over there.
Well, everyone, my name's Helen Paris. I'll take you to go to the 3rd part, Microlab, and tell you something about how to use it. So come on and turn left to the middle. Now, here is the Microlab, as we call it. It is fitted with 28 standalone terminals, 32 PCs, and 3 Macs. If you are a member of the library, you may borrow call discs in any of the 5 foreign languages. You may also borrow a range of word processing and desktop publishing packages. All discs are, of course, strictly for use in the Microlab only. There is always a queue to get to the terminals towards the end of term. Come in and get to know how to use the terminals early in the term and use them on a regular basis, on the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of each month, and are free to full-time college students. I hope to see you there. Now, Any questions? That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 3.
Section 3. In this section, you are going to hear a conversation. Before you listen, please look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen to the conversation and answer questions 21 to 30. Welcome to the new term. Hope you've had a good time in your vacation. Maybe you're looking forward to writing your dissertation. Now, in this section, you have an opportunity to ask questions on writing the dissertation. Requirements, milestones, who to see when you're in need of help. It's very informal. It may be written on paper, but it's nice to get it confirmed. So, anything you'd like to ask?
Dr. Eric, is there a fixed hand-in date yet?
Yes, I will confirm that that's June 13th. OK, Tammy?
What about the word limit?
Well, we try to be pretty flexible on this, but in broad terms, it's 15,000 to 20,000.
Ah.
And you can choose your topics.
I still have no idea about it. Who?
Well, you should see your course tutor to agree on your final title, and you should also be aware that there's a special program running on research methods for anyone who wants some extra help on that.
Can I just check the deadlines for everything?
Yes, sure. Look, let me write it on the board when the different stages have to be completed. First of all, you've got to work on your basic bibliography, and that's due in to your course tutor by February 1st, which is just 2 weeks away, so you'd better confirm it.
Shall we have our own draft plan by then?
No, your draft plan is due on February the 13th, which is 2 weeks later, so that should give you plenty of time.
And when do we have to be doing the research?
That's over a 1-month period, essentially February to March.
And the write-up?
Well, you can't really start writing until you've got quite a bit of research done, so that's really March to May, with the hand-in on the 21st. Any more questions?
Well, sir, just some advice really. It's about computers. Would you advise us to buy one?
What can I say, Karen? It's a massive expense, but I really feel that it will be of great benefit. You can always look in the Student Union Fellows for second-hand ones. Yes?
I've been looking at some of last year's dissertations. Is that a good idea, sir? I read...
Well, I don't think you should read them in detail too early, or you might end up taking more of their ideas than you realise. But yes, it really is the best guide you can have to the expectations of what's expected when you write a dissertation.
Sorry, Tammy, I interrupted you. That's okay. It's just that they did a lot of research using questionnaires. Is that a good idea?
I think questionnaires are very good at telling you how people feel in questionnaires. But to be frank, they tell you very little else. Avoid them.
About interviews. Is it okay if we interview you?
The tutors? I don't see why not. They don't have any special contribution to make, but you can, if you want. There's a whole section on this issue in the research guide. I'm afraid it's slightly out of date, and you're probably better talking to the tutors on the research methods course, but you might find it useful to start there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, well, great. I hope that sorted a few things out. You can always come and see me or drop me a note if you've got any more queries.
Fine.
Okay, thanks.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 4.
Section 4. In this section, you are going to hear a lecture. Questions 31 to 40 are based on the lecture. Before you listen, please look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen to the lecture and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Margaret Sales. I'm a journalist who specialises in travel. Some of you may read the travel section of the newspaper, so you know the kind of articles I write. Anyway, I'm not here to tell you about my job. I've been invited here by the Astoria Tourism Bureau to tell you about travel to Astoria. Now, as I'm sure most of you know, Astoria is a rather large island located 1,100 kilometres from New Zealand. That's 1,100 kilometres in a northeast direction, I should say. As you can see on the map here, it's about 25% larger than New Zealand, and it has quite a different shape. While New Zealand is long and thin, Astoria has the shape of a rectangle. Some people would say almost a square. Now, I guess none of you here have been to Astoria yet, so let me give you some description. Most of the people live in the northern part of the island. This part of the island is warmer than the southern part, but it wouldn't be fair to say that the southern half is cold. In fact, the whole island is close enough to the equator so that no matter how far south you go, you wouldn't even need a jumper to keep warm. There are 4 provinces in Astoria. Each has its own unique features and, in fact, one of them speaks a different language. The northwest quarter of the country is the province of Hornchurch. The capital of the country, which is called New Birmingham, is located in Hornchurch. That's where the first English settlers came in the year 1756. New Birmingham is Astoria's largest city and the centre of its industry. And it's the culture of this part of the island that attracts so many tourists to Hornchurch. The culture is a strange mix of Old English and Polynesian. New Birmingham is where you'll most likely enter the country, if you're going by air, because it has the busiest airport. Hornchurch's population is 2.5 million. The second largest province, in terms of population, is New Devon. It's got 500,000 people fewer than Hornchurch. New Devon takes up the northeast quarter of the country. Now, if you're the type of person who likes the beach, this is the best part of the island. The beaches are absolutely beautiful here, and they go on for miles. There are beach resorts all along the coast on this part of the island, and no matter how much money you want to spend on your holiday, there are beach resorts that will suit your budget in New Devon. South of New Devon is the province of Anglesark. This is the most mountainous part of Astoria, and the least populated. Only 250,000 people live here. The mountains in Anglesark are well known for their hot springs, and many Astorians, as well as tourists, go there to rest and relax in the mineral bath. The hot springs are probably the best reason to visit the province, especially if you want to get away from the more crowded beaches on the northeastern part of the island. But take along a good pair of hiking boots if you want to take advantage of the wonderful bushwalking in the Anglesark Mountains. The 4th province of Astoria is in the southwest quarter of the island. It's called New Albion. Now, that may sound deceptively English, but actually that's not the language you're likely to hear in New Albion. Although the English were the first Europeans to come to Astoria, explorers from Spain came only a few months later, and they settled in this part of the island. Today, Spanish is still the main language in New Albion, while people in the other 3 provinces communicate in English. Overseas visitors like to come to New Albion to indulge in one of Astoria's more famous agricultural products, wine. I'm sure you know that Astoria's wines are considered to be some of the best in the world. Well, all of the wine produced in Astoria is made in New Albion because the weather here is perfect for it. Warm days and cool nights, but not too humid. By the way, New Albion has the only other international airport in Astoria, so it's possible to arrive there first if you're going by air. OK, I've briefly told you about the place. Now let me show you some slides, and then I'll tell you about the prices and travel arrangements.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers.